How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gev. It's Friday, June 19th, so let's talk capital. Alright, guys, so let's go ahead and I want to catch you guys up on how the markets closed out for the week and what to expect for next week. So we're basically just going to go over the S&P 500, gold, and Bitcoin, and I'm just going to give you guys a quick rundown of the top 10, 15 companies, how they performed, and what I think about the weekly close. Before we go ahead and do that, if you guys like the content that I'm putting out, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, tick that notification bell at the bottom. If you don't, let me know what you don't like, leave a dislike. But anyway, let's move on. Okay, so S&P 500, still in this up channel, guys. Not much has changed here. The big difference here is, though, we had a very bad daily close to the day, and yesterday this was looking more bullish, coming off the back of the news that China would be upping its purchasing of agricultural goods to comply with the phase 1 trade deal. So we finally got good news, and the market ended up moving lower because of it, and I just find it comical at this point. So we got the unemployment news that was worse than expected, and the market moved higher based on that, and then it moved lower based on the after the matter of figuring out that China is upping its agricultural buying. Okay, so markets are still iffy, guys. There's a lot of shaky stuff going on, and it's to be expected because of all the closures that are starting up again because of COVID-19. So like I said, it's to be expected, but we're still in an uptrend. Okay, so that's the important thing to understand here. We're still in an uptrend. We could come as low as 3016, and we would still be in an uptrend. Basically, what's happening here is we're reacting to this trend line that I've told you guys about, that we've been talking about and we've been looking at, right? We're just reacting to this trend line right now. So it'd be interesting to see how we go next week, but the weekly close is it was looking really nice about midweek, and I was thinking if it closes like that, we're looking super bullish. But as of right now, not bullish, not bearish. It's kind of just neutral, right? It's just holding the 50 and the 21 moving average on the weekly, and we're holding above support and right below resistance. So we're like in a mid zone. You can even tell that by the channel that we're in. We rejected basically the midpoint and came back down, right? So it'd be interesting to see what's happening beginning of next week. More interesting here is the fact that gold actually did what I was expecting it to do, which was close in this range exactly. So the main reason why we were expecting the 1744, 1745 range to be a good close is for this reason, right? So we had a very tight engulfing candle right here. The next week after that, or the next candle after that, you want to see a nice push getting close to or above resistance. That's basically what we've done here on the weekly, right? On the daily, we held the 50 moving, which is good, and we're nicely like positioned here for a move higher, right? So again, interesting to see how it opens next week. But if this does, and it will, so opening of next week, on my entry on this would be 1725 if we were to get that. If not, we gotta wait for a move higher and then a bounce off of this trend line somewhere around 1750 to get in. Okay, but gold is looking very interesting coming into next week. Definitely going to have my eye on this. Looking like a pretty solid setup for a trade finally after 2 weeks of not getting anything on any of these, basically. Finally, let's do Bitcoin before we go into everything else. Real quick, I want to show you guys this chart. This is a naked chart, just price action and moving averages. What I want you guys to understand here is this. Okay, so if you guys can tell, price action likes to move in a certain direction and then go into a little standstill and figure out what it wants to do. Are we too far extended down or too far extended up, or are we where we are supposed to be, right? This is why Bitcoin is entering a very dangerous situation here. And why do I say dangerous? It's for this reason. When you see these moving averages fanning out from each other, okay, that means it's moving into an explosive move. Okay, when you see them tightening, that means the range is tightening. Price action is getting tighter. Right, one thing I want you guys to look at here is this. On a daily chart, anytime we have the red moving average above the yellow, that's the 21 in the red and the 50 in the yellow. Okay, so when the 21 is above the 50, we're generally looking at bullish price action. When it's vice versa, we're looking at bearish price action. Okay, now that coupled with the fact that, like I said, once we see price action just ranging, that means we're trying to figure out a direction we want to head in. Bitcoin is entering a very dangerous phase, dangerous range because of this, guys. The 21 is getting ready to flip over the 50 here. Okay, the 50 is slowly starting to bend over, and we're flattening out at massive area of resistance, basically. Okay, this is starting to get very dangerous because if this rolls over, obviously the first stop is a 200 moving average here, but let's go ahead and throw all of our lines back on here. As you guys can see, we're above the 3-year trend line. So when we go back below this and go to test this, there has to be a lot of buying power there to send us back up, because people are going to be selling scared again because of situations like this. Nobody wants to go through this. Nobody wants to see 60% of their money just disappear, right? Evaporate. Nobody wants to go through that. So when we go under again here, it's going to be very interesting to see if it holds. If we go under, we're going to make it or break it. I think, honestly, this is it. If we're going to move higher, this is it. And I say these for this reasons. We had a hammer. We've seen constant rejection in this area on the daily, right? Trying to hold the 50 moving average. And now we closed our first candle below the 50 moving average in about 2 months. Okay? So in about 2 months, this is the first time we've closed here. Okay, that means if this candle that we're in does not come to about 9,500 in the next 24 hours, we're probably going to see the exact opposite directional move. Probably another $400 or $500 down this way. We've seen a daily hammer here. We've seen full rejection at this trend line, right? We've seen a 3-day hammer here, okay? Again, holding the 21 moving average. You guys see the red line here? Okay, this is why this is becoming important. There's a lot of confluence in this area, and one of the biggest things is this: the weekly 50 moving average is rolling over. Anytime this happens in Bitcoin, it's not a good sign. It's just straight up not a good sign. As you guys can see, anytime it starts rolling over, we're talking about a 40% dip in price at minimum. So I mean, if we were to take it from right here and go down 40%, as you can see, it's not a good place to be. $5,600 is not a good price for Bitcoin after halving. That is very damaging to the eco space. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we progress over the next 12 to 48 hours, because we are in a make or break situation for Bitcoin. Okay, and if I've taken you guys down to the 1 hour, you can see how it's constantly rejecting this area, but slowly moving into it too, right? So it rejects, moves higher, comes down, rejects, moves higher, comes down. It's constantly coming down. It's constantly knocking on the door. So we are most likely getting ready to break down, okay? Now, there is a lot of bullish pressure in the market, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a breakout, but it needs to happen now. As you guys can see, this is our short-term downtrend here. We are squeezing, and we're running out of room. Okay, so we basically have about 24 hours. 24 hours left to make a decision on which direction Bitcoin wants to head. Okay, that being said, real quickly, let's run through the big players in the stock market. So Facebook, we're going to look at these on weekly, right? So Facebook moved nicely into the higher end of the range on the weekly chart and closed solidly up there. So that's nice and bullish sign for Facebook. Amazon doing the exact same thing. You guys are going to notice a trend. Most of them move in the same direction in the same time and fashion. Okay, so Amazon doing the same thing, moving up to the high end of the range. I don't like how we didn't get at least higher near the top, but it's still a very bullish sign here. Apple doing exactly the same thing, still very bullish sign. Notice how this one wicked over. This is a little bit more bullish than Amazon would be. Okay, but again, both bullish. Netflix, bullish close for the week. However, possible head and shoulders pattern. I want you guys to see here. That's left shoulder, head, right shoulder possibly forming. Obviously, a move above 460 negates all of that. Google, probably the most bearish one of them. So far, we are holding the 21 moving average, but again, struggling to get above this gap. So more than likely looking for a move lower on Google. Microsoft looking very nicely bullish, just like Amazon, Facebook, and Netflix. Tesla closing at $1,000. This is a major move for Tesla, guys. This is priming Tesla for a move to $1,100 to $1,200. Nvidia, again, same candle pattern, looking nice and bullish. Disney not looking very bullish here. We are basically closing at the 200 moving average. That's not very bullish, especially with a wick to the top side like this. You're rejecting the price action basically up here, possibly looking lower at a $100 price level, maybe even 95-ish. Okay, so IBM not looking bullish at all here. So massive rejection last week, followed up again with a wick closing under the 21 moving average. This guy's looking to move lower for sure. I'm looking at again the $100 range, 110, 100 to 110. Intel rejection, looking to move lower. Same candle pattern. Previous week getting a rejection and followed by more rejection this week. Berkshire, not good at all. Wow. Okay, so failed to get above the 200 moving average on a weekly, and failed to close price action in last week's range. So definitely looking for a move lower here, probably to $150 level. Bank of America looking very bad. Oh, I'm glad we got here to the banks. Next week, important thing to remember here is next week on Thursday we have the stress test results for all the banks in America. That's conducted by the Fed, so it's going to be interesting to see which one of these banks passed this stress test. Just wanted to throw that out there. That's next Thursday. We'll cover that for sure. Ford. Ford, wow, Ford's looking very bearish, possibly looking to test this bottom, form a double bottom before we move higher here. Definitely not bullish in any way, fashion for Ford. GM, same as Ford, probably even worse. Closing the week in red, that is definitely not good. McDonald's rejection, however, we are moving higher above the 200 moving average is good, but again, not looking good. Possible third lower high, so we have high, lower high, lower high. Not too good for McDonald's. Who's this? Coca-Cola, yes sir. Coca-Cola rejecting the 200 moving average. As you guys know the story, below it is bearish, above it is bullish. Currently below it, so we're bearish on this guy. 3M below its weekly. Ooh, this is beautiful. I love this. Look at this. Yeah, nice channel here. Oops. Look at that. It's a little dirty, but this does work. There it is. Beautiful down channel, right? Descending channel. So basically rejected. We're looking to move down here lower to 121-ish. PayPal is a major winner, guys. PayPal is the most bullish stock on the damn planet right now. If this pulls back to $120, $125, you need to buy it. Simply put, all BS aside, if this pulls back to this level, you need to buy it. Okay, there's like no TA needed on this. We've massively shattered the previous all-time highs and moved higher, so now any logical retest of that number is an automatic buy. Okay, JP Morgan again below 200 moving average on a weekly, waiting on the stress test next week, but not looking good. Bank of America, same story. And that wraps it up. Twitter is kind of a range-bound animal, doesn't really move out of here much, so we're just gonna go ahead and not talk about that one. But that's it for the week, guys. Let me know if you guys like the content. Leave a like, subscribe. As always, it's been great. I'll see you guys next Monday. Thank you for watching.